Hi everybody, this is a Sony A7R2 full-frame camera with a 42 megapixels sensor. In this review, we are going to shoot landscapes, models, night photography, street photography, HDR, and much more. We're going to shoot with 3 full-frame Zeiss FE lenses, 55 1.8, 35 2.8 and 1635 f4. All the footage that you are gonna see in this review is taken with the A7R2, except when I will show you the camera, of course. And here I had the 55mm, and you can see that the 5-axis in-body stabilization is working well. I shot 2 pictures that I merged in Photoshop to have a square picture because sometimes I like to have a square picture, and here it is. And then I will show you a zoom at 100% so you can see the image quality and all the details. We are here in Hua Hin, Thailand. I am filming with a zoom lens Zeiss FE1635, which is stabilized, so we have a double stabilization from the lens and from the camera. We are in Lightroom. This is the raw file that I shot without editing and after editing. And we're gonna zoom at 100%, and you can see it's very sharp everywhere on the picture. It's very good for a zoom lens, and we're gonna see now an example with a prime lens 55mm. So here is a picture at 55mm, ISO 400, f4.5 and shutter speed 160th of a second. This is after editing, and we're gonna go now in full screen and zoom at 100%, and you can see how sharp it is and how beautiful the model is as well. And we now are zooming at 200%, and it's still sharp, and we can see the amazing image quality of the Sony A7R2, all the details that we have. And let's try at 300%. Of course, it will not be as sharp, but it still looks good, still nice at 300%. And this is the black and white version of the picture. Let's have a look at the camera now, the A7R2, one of the best full-frame camera on the market, with a 42 megapixels backlighted sensor, 4K video, 5-axis in-body stabilization, and 399 phase detection autofocus points. It is very light for a full frame, very handy. You can bring it with you everywhere, all day long. This is really the ideal camera if you can afford it. Let's have a quick look now at the buttons and the dial, and after I will show you more video and photo samples. On the front you have the aperture dial, and the shutter speed dial is here on the back. This is where you set the ISO, and here you have the shutter release. dial mode, 4 custom buttons, C1, C2, C3, C4. Function button, you can have access to different functions, flash mode, metering mode, white balance, etc. The tilting screen. You can tilt it like this and like this. This was a photo shoot demo during Camera Expo, and I have the 55mm, and I was moving my camera a little bit too much because there was a lot of people. It was not easy to film. Fortunately, there is the in-body stabilization, because with a 55mm, the shakes are more obvious compared to a wide-angle lens, for example. This is the picture that I shot at f6.3, 160th of a second, and ISO 3200, which is a little bit high in my opinion. And this is the same picture in black and white, because the atmosphere was vintage, so I think it was better. The shutter sound was an issue with the previous model. This one, they have made a huge improvement, so I will try to let you hear the shutter sound. As you can hear, it's not so loud. So you have the e-front curtain shutter, which is less loud. Okay, and you have as well a silent shooting mode. We are now in Bangkok at night, and we are gonna make a test of night photography. I'm gonna take a picture of 30-second exposure, f10 and ISO 100 with a Zeiss prime lens 35mm 2.8. And let me show you the result in the camera so you can see the quality of the LCD screen. This is the LCD screen of the camera. When I press the button C3, we are at a 200% zoom. And you can see this is really nice and sharp even at 200%. Let's go at 100%. And of course it's even better. Everywhere on the picture. Well, it was f10. So that can give you an idea of what we can see on the LCD screen. We are back in Hua Hin at night, and we're gonna make another test of night photography. But this time I will show you the picture after editing in Lightroom. And we cannot see much here, it's very dark. And on the right you can see the city. I'm gonna take a picture of the city as well. So here is the picture. f8, ISO 200 and 30-second exposure. And for the city, the same, except that ISO is 100 only, it was enough for this one. Let's go out now at the night market of Hua Hin. I'm filming now with the 55mm, so you see it's very close. This camera is ideal for street photography because it's compact, it's discreet, so it's perfect to take candid pictures. You can even use the silent mode, but personally I don't need it because usually the streets are noisy, so it's not necessary. But in some cases it can be useful. The night market starts pretty early, so there was enough light. I shoot usually at 160th of a second because people are moving, and around f5. And the ISO setting depends on the light and the situation. Let's make an HDR test now. I shot 3 pictures with different exposures using the continuous bracketing function of the camera. And then I merged them in HDR Pro Photoshop. I shot with the 1635 at 16mm and f8. So here is the overexposed one, underexposed. This one is in the middle. And here is the result. And we have a good exposure for inside and outside at the same time. My conclusion is that I love this camera because it's light, compact, the image quality is amazing. 42 megapixels give you a lot of details and allow you to crop if necessary and still have a high definition picture. It's as well a good value for the money compared to the other full-frame cameras on the market. The lenses lineup is now pretty decent. You have much more choice than 2 years ago when Sony started the A7 series. And it's ideal for all kinds of photography, as we have seen with the samples. As it's a review, I should say as well negative things, but honestly I can't find anything wrong with this camera. However, it's not perfect yet. For example, I would like to have a touch screen. It would be much easier sometimes for focusing. They will certainly add this feature in the next generation. Something else that I miss is a premium zoom lens 2470 with an aperture of 2.8 all the way. Now they have a 2470, which is decent, but it's an f4. I would like an f2.8 and a great image quality. And I don't want to use a third-party lens with an adapter. So I really hope that they will release it one day for the FE mount. It's going to be heavier and more expensive, of course, than the one they have today, but it will certainly be worth it. Feel free to ask me any question in the comments. If you want to see more pictures, you can go to my website, TravelJournalist.com. You can follow me as well on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can see the links in the description below. Thank you very much for watching this video, and see you next time.